Let's go ahead and try part C. It says revise your model so the reflector is at the rightmost position at time t equals 0. So in this particular case, we're starting with the reflector on the right-hand side. So here it is at time 0 on the right-hand side. So we're going to do the same thing as before. Here's time, here's height, and we're going to have 0, 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds. So what is happening at time 0? What is the height? Right now it is at the same height as the center. So the radius is 30. So that means the height starts at 30. After 1, remember that it's going to come down here. This is where the reflector is going to be. And we said that that height is 13. After 2 seconds, the reflector is going to be here on the left. So it goes back to being a height of 30. Then 1 second later, it's going to be at the very top. So then that height we said is going to be 47. And then 1 second later is right back to where it started at 30. Let's go ahead and plot this on our graph. Here's time, here's height. So 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds. We have the same values. We have 13, 30, and 47 because that's exactly what the heights are. And in this case, at 0, I start at 30. At 1, I go down to 13. At 2, I go back to 30. At 3, I'm at 47. And at 4, I'm back to 30. So I'm basically going 30, down, back, up, and back. Here what I have is a sine graph, but if you notice, this is going to be a negative sine graph. So the positive sine graph is going to look like this, and the negative sine graph is going to go down and then up. And that is what's happening in my graph. So I know that this is going to be modeled best by a negative sine graph. So I'm going to have y is equal to, let's find the principal axis. It's still going to be at 30 because I can cut it in half so that it has the same amount at the top and below the principal axis. That means that my amplitude is still 17, but remember we said this is negative sine graph, so it's negative 17 sine of, it's still going to be 90x because the period is still 4, so 360 divided by 4 is 90, and then here the principal axis is still going to be 30. So this is going to be the model that's going to describe this situation best for part C. In part D, it says revise your model for a point on the outer edge of the wheel. Assume that the point is at the leftmost position at time t equals 0. Okay, this is a very different situation. Think of this in terms of maybe like a piece of gum or something that's actually on the tire, because this is no longer talking about the reflector. So it's starting at the leftmost. So it starts this way. It's still moving clockwise. Every 4 seconds is going to complete 1 revolution. That hasn't changed. Let's talk about the height from the ground. So we have time versus height. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. At time 0, remember that we are on the ground. And we said the radius is going to be 30. So right now at time 0, we have a height of 30. Then this gum or whatever is on this tire is going to move to the very top. At that point, what is the height? Well, I'm going to have basically a diameter, 2 of these radii together. So 30 plus 30 is going to be 60. What happens as it continues to move? The next second is going to be located there, which is going to be 30 again. Then after another second, it's going to be down at the bottom. So that means the height is going to be 0. And then finally, when it goes back at the 4th second, it's going to be back at its original position. And so that height is going to be back to being 30. I'm going to go ahead and create a graph to get a better picture as to what this looks like. So 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds. This is time. And then I'm starting at 0, then I'm going 30 and 60. So here's 30, here's 60. Let's go ahead and create our graph. At 0, I'm starting at 30. At 1, I go to 60. 2, I'm back at 30. 3, I go down to 0. 4, I'm back at 30. So notice that I'm going up, back, down, and back. This is a beautiful sine graph. Here, if I were to cut this in half, I would cut it in half right at 30. The amplitude has changed, however. The amplitude is half the distance of the maximum and the minimum. In this case, the minimum is 0, the maximum is 60, half of that is 30. Or you can think of the amplitude as coming from the principal axis here to either the highest point or the lowest point, in which case we still have 30. So I know that the amplitude is going to be 30. This graph, you can tell, is a sine graph, and it's going to be positive because it goes up and then it goes down. So I have y is equal to positive 30. Remember, 30 is the amplitude. Sine of, it's still occurring every 4 seconds. So b, it's still going to be 90. That has not changed. And then the principal axis here is going to be 30. Hope you found this video helpful. Remember to subscribe to my channel for more help with math so that you can say, yes, I can do math with confidence. Until next time, thanks for watching.